Frazier to New York. I mean, that, I think, would help something like that. Someone like Garrett Cole going up to management saying, I want this guy. They played together in, 16 and 17 before Cole got traded?
Yeah, I mean, Garrett Cole, one, should probably be worrying about not being a terrible pitcher now that he doesn't spider tack his way through games. Adam Frazier probably doesn't want to go to the Yankees. He probably wants to go to a team where you're going to get to see Garrett Cole more than a few times the rest of the year, because it looks like you can get hits off the guy right now. I'm sure there's a lot of lobbying being done. You know, the Yankees, it's funny you mentioned Cole in that team, Richie, because I think of New York and I think of having like a couple people kind of reach out to me very quietly and say, don't be surprised if the Yankees enter the mix here. I mean, maybe. He fits more as an outfielder there. I think the key for Ben Cherington, and really the only relevant thing for Pirates fans, should be, do you have at least 2 or 3 teams in the mix bidding for Adam Frazier's services? As long as you have that, you're going to maximize the return that you will get for him. If you only have one team that's seriously interested, then that might blunt what you're able to extract from them.
So from what I understand, there's about 6, maybe a half dozen teams that are interested in Frazier. I did read today that this is coming from Seattle, that the Mariners could potentially be one of those teams. You know, that's good. The more teams, the better, right? Then his value goes up.
Yeah, I would say so. I also think that if you have, he has positional versatility. Excuse me, we know that. He can play second base. He can play an outfield spot. So I think that makes him more attractive. But I always think about the DH in the AL, and if it's a team that otherwise feels like they have their positions set the way they want them on the actual diamond defensively, they just want another bat. He's not the traditional route you'd go with a DH where you'd want somebody, especially in today's game, who has a lot more power than Frazier brings to the table. But if you can add in a bat on an AL team that's going to hit about 330 the rest of the year, I don't think you're going to be sweating too much about the fact that guy is not, going to hit the ball over the fence very often for you. So I'd like to even see some more AL teams in the mix, because of that DH factor, I think that could drive the price up even a little bit higher.
Last question before we go to break and take some calls. Is someone like Frazier more attractive to a team that's maybe on the outside looking in, that's in the wild card race, or a team that has solidified a division, is looking to maybe be the front runner in one of those leagues or whatever? I mean, where do you think he fits in best? Where is the attraction most?
I think it's for an established team that knows they're probably going to get there, and that knows that they don't have to make a charge from outside the current playoff picture. He's just not the kind of player that's going to put a team on his back, right? He's not going to hit 15 home runs after he gets traded and be this offensive dynamo. Like, think about the way Carlos Beltran would play after he would get traded, right? I mean, we know him as an all-time sort of prime-time performer. He'd go to teams and then completely jolt their lineup. I think you're looking at Adam Frazier most seriously, and I think he can provide the most help if it's a team that's already on the inside of the playoff picture that has a wart or a hole in their lineup that he could patch perfectly.
Like the White Sox, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, they're still, I
Mets.
think, the best fit for him. The White Sox still strike me as the best fit. You get a team that knows they're going to win their division. They're thinking about more, hey, we're going to pay. Here's the other thing, too, Richie, really quick here. If you've got a team that knows they're going to make the playoffs, I think you might find that team to be more willing to part with a better prospect, because it's not an if, it's not an if proposition. It's a when they get to the playoffs, right? And so I think there's going to be maybe more aggressiveness, saying, we know we're going to get there. We know this isn't going to be a sunk cost. Let's push a little bit more aggressively to try to bolster our roster and make a run at a World Series.
All right, we got to take a break. Taking your phone calls next. 412-575-2600 is the number. Back in a couple minutes.